Welcome to the Orchid Advisors Compliance Training Series, Firearm Physical Control, Product Development, and Production. Firearm theft or loss is a major concern of the ATF as it can have a direct impact on public safety. The ATF's expectation is that those who control the manufacture, distribution, and sale of firearms will do so in a manner that keeps the product out of the hands of those who are not supposed to possess them. Theft, loss, or inappropriate transfer of a firearm is considered a major offense in the eyes of the ATF regulators. As a result, the federal government has developed specific tools and forms that are required to ensure proper physical control of firearms products by persons or organizations wishing to obtain a federal firearms license, FFL. A properly constructed physical control plan can play a significant role in limiting the risk of theft or loss while firearms are in the organization's possession. These control measures do not have to be cost prohibitive, but the cost is highly dependent upon facility layout and the extent of automation built into the process. For example, a basic program might include centralizing the location of firearms on the company premises, securing that location with fencing, and requiring those who pass in or out to go through a metal detector and X-ray. Advanced security measures might include the hiring of a large force whose personnel have the time to perform physical security walks and who make use of advanced camera technologies that can detect and determine the difference between vehicles, people, and animals. Physical controls are considered to be preventative in nature in that they limit undesirable activity before it happens. Therefore, these controls should be considered a strong but lower-cost element of an organization's compliance program. Physical security of the product development and production areas is especially critical to minimizing the opportunity for firearm theft or loss. Engineering. Engineering prototypes should be physically segregated and secured from other production and non-production firearms. Engineering and other non-production personnel should be allowed limited access to production areas. If design or production setup time is required within the operational area, engineers should be escorted access by those who are responsible for the area. Procurement. Procurement should work closely with compliance and operations personnel to ensure that suppliers are not permitted open access into the facility where firearms, pre- or post-serialized, are stored. Production. Any area in the factory with firearms, pre- or post-serialized, should be physically secured by measures that include window guards, if the windows are open, door locks or badge scan technology, audible alarms if the doors are propped open beyond an extended period of time. Also, the audible alarms should ring to an independent function so that after-hours break-ins can be detected in a timely fashion. The same area should be fenced in from other areas of the factory, and strict access rules should be established about who enters and leaves the area. Employees who work in the area should store personal belongings in a company-provided area, such as a locker room that is located outside of the production area. Personnel entering and leaving the production area should pass through both a metal detector and X-ray machine, and all physical objects on their person should be scanned. Production should work closely with inventory management to ensure that any serialized firearms that leave the production area are assigned to a specific, accountable employee and are logged. Ideally, this logging activity will be included in the company inventory management system. Additional security measures should be taken where non-serialized firearms are managed, i.e. areas for rework, heat treat, etc. This is because unserialized frames are not traceable and would be difficult to detect if missing. Pre-numbered containers with standard bin sizes can be used as a visual identifier to determine if products are missing. Trash bins should be strategically located to limit opportunities for theft and loss. A best practice would be to lock the bins and have an independent member of the organization, compliance, unlock them when it is time for dumping. Another good practice is to only use clear plastic containers for trash and run them through a metal detector on their way to destruction. Scrap. The strongest layer of security should be applied to scrap areas. Serial numbers should not be disposed of in the Book of Acquisition and Disposition until they have been physically destroyed. Regardless, firearms on their way to be scrapped or that have just been destroyed should be stored in secured containers. It is recommended that someone other than production move, manage, and destroy scrap, therefore increasing independence and minimizing unnecessary loss. Once scrapped, the remaining material should also be stored in a secured container. Ammunition. For the purposes of security and, more importantly, safety, all ammunition should be physically segregated from firearms and stored under highly controlled conditions. Individuals who are independent of firearm production and inventory management should maintain control and distribution of ammunition. Where possible, flow design should be implemented to control how ammunition needed for range testing or customer ranges gets to the area. Ammunition use should be accounted for with logbooks. Inventory management. Inventory management plays a critical role in securing raw materials, finished parts, and finished goods. Access to any of these materials should be limited only to those who work in the inventory management or logistic functions. It is recommended that the area be physically segregated with fencing. Employee personal firearms or visitor firearms should be tagged as such and physically segregated in designated vaults or safes separate from company-owned firearms. Take note that personal firearms staying overnight that are not physically segregated and marked and that are logged into the Book of Acquisition and Disposition must be transferred back to those individuals only by use of the 4473 legal transfer process. Thank you for watching this segment of our video training series.